Wait, Jim, before we start, I've got a good one. Regular Jack Black versus an actual Kung Fu Panda. Oh, what? We're recording? Oh, hey nerds. Today I want to talk about Roblox. Now, Roblox is a game that a lot of people my age will remember playing as kids, and it's still massively popular with kids today. It's instantly recognizable for its blocky Lego aesthetic, and it spawned all of these memes, and that one Kanye West song with Lil Pump. Now, the thing about Roblox is that it's not really a game in itself, it's more of a platform, like a YouTube for games, which means that a lot of the content on there varies wildly in both quality and subject matter. Roblox is predominantly seen as a kids game, but spoilers for this video, sometimes it shouldn't be. And while most of the stuff on there is kiddie games, it's all fine and innocuous, Roblox does have a bit of a weird side. Like how at one stage they wanted to update the classic blocky Lego aesthetic to these anthropomorphic character models which look inspired by my sleep paralysis demons. Or we could start with the player base, whose grammatically messy, misspelled and oddly adult-themed conversations generate most of the Roblox memes out there. Like this one that somehow manages to succinctly sum up the development of a teenage boy. I don't want to capture freaking Pokemons, I want to capture womans. But as weird as the player base is, one of the more bizarre things about Roblox is some of the games they've got available to play. And that's what I'm going to dive into today. I have a character on Roblox, of course. I was a child once too. I certainly don't play it now though, not as a 23-year-old man. This is him. He's made some questionable style choices. A bit like me in real life. Why did people allow me to have this haircut? But yeah, this is him, and we're going to join my denim-wearing lobster wizard through the realm of bizarre games that Roblox has to offer. I should preface that I didn't actually go searching for these. These were either in the top rated, the popular, or my recommended section. So these are just some of the most popular games on the platform. So the first game I have to talk about is called Coffin Dance. So this one's centered around that Coffin Dance meme, where the four guys are dancing while they're carrying the coffin. And I mean, the first thing I have to say about this game is that it's weird that there's a game about this for kids at all. It's weird that there's any game around this meme at all. Perhaps I'm just out of touch with today's youth, but I never would have thought that a meticulously choreographed funeral procession would have appealed to Roblox's target demographic of under 13s. But even so, I found this within the top rated section and it has over 700,000 plays, which means that over 700,000 children were like, nah, I don't want to work at a pizza place, I'd much rather work at a funeral director's. I mean, never mind that the game itself is just clicking some buttons until you get a scene from the meme. The only other thing you can do here is input your character and your friends' characters into the meme, so you can see you and your friends doing the dances while carrying the coffin. What makes it dark though is that you can pick you or one of your friends to be inside the coffin. I mean, as far as video games go, this one succeeds in fulfilling one of the darker childhood fantasies of stylistically transporting your friend's corpse to its final resting place, but I'm not quite certain that fantasy needed to be fulfilled. I do suppose every generation has a kind of a weird characteristic though, right? Boomers have being racist, millennials have being poor. I mean, maybe today's kids are just craving the death of them and their friends. Or maybe that's millennials again. I mean, what makes it even weirder though is the contrast between these happy, blocky-faced Roblox characters and the fact that they're just vibing out with a coffin. It's like if Lego released a funeral set, complete with like your friends as minifigures, and you could just roleplay. Silly me, what was I thinking? Of course that already exists. I mean, the meme and the game definitely have some adult undertones, right? I mean, they're funny because of the contrast between the coffin and the funeral and the dances that are being done. Is that contrast between death and then the lightheartedness of it all that makes it funny. Are the kids really getting that, or are they just like, haha, funny dances? I just feel like kids can't understand this enough for it to really be appropriate for them. It's also worrying to think of all the kids who are getting picked on right now, whose schoolmates have stuck them in a coffin on Roblox. I mean, yeah, if a bully really wanted to grind you into the dirt, all they'd have to do is send you a picture of your own funeral. So I just went back and checked, and only a few hours after I played it, it was shut down for being inappropriate. Yep. Okay, yeah, that seems about right. There's a few other games that are similar to Coffin Dance. They're based on memes and stuff, such as Yankee with No Brim, which was a meme I didn't even know existed until I had played this game. It's just got some fun combinations of Yankees with brims and Yankees with no brims and brims with no Yankees and Yankees with Yankees and brims with brims. There's even one without a brim or a Yankee. The description, though, is what I want to focus on. It's 42020 Blazer. Oh, and it got changed for being inappropriate. Moving on from the genre of meme games, we're going to go into what I like to call the hellscape genre of games on Roblox. And these are games that I just find completely terrifying. The first one we've got is Survival the Albert the Killer. First off, I like that the title is in keeping with the grammar of most of the conversations in this game, but that thumbnail image is nightmare fuel. I'm not entirely sure what the objective of this game is. The map is just filled with these disembodied heads floating around that constantly scream flamingo, and endlessly track you down and try to kill you. I worked out that you can be eaten by the more normal looking disembodied head. So if you're a vor fetishist, you're in luck. The fact that I have to say there's a more normal looking disembodied head. Every 5 minutes a volcano spawns and hurls decapitated heads across the map. As if we didn't have enough of them already. They sort of remind me of the Greendale human being from Community. But really that doesn't make it any less creepy.
Holy crap!
There are some cars to drive and stuff, but honestly, I couldn't work out what I was supposed to do. I guess the point is just to survive as long as you can in this hellscape. So, kind of like real life, really. Maybe I was just a really easily frightened child, but this is unsettling even now. If I'd seen this when I was a kid, I wouldn't have slept for a week, and then as soon as I did, I would have had nightmares about these floating monstrosities trying to eat me. I should note as well that players can get this head and put it on their own character model. So even once you've left this game and you're playing some other ones, you'll still often see it. Like some kind of curse that's following you around.
Yara? Yeah. Don't open the door. See? Everything's okay.
So, carrying on with the hellscape theme, we've got the mirror. So this one claims to be based on a real psychological phenomenon, where if you look into the mirror for long enough in the dark, your mind starts to make stuff up. Just to put that into perspective, this is a psychological horror game based in reality on a platform targeted at children. So not only is this thing claiming to be scary, it's also claiming to be something you could experience in real life. That's just what you want for your kids' game, right? Cut out the imagination middleman and jump straight to the real life dangers of a psychotic breakdown. So the game starts off fairly tame, you're just kind of staring into the mirror, and then slowly your head starts to distort and wobble a bit. But as it goes on, the door behind you opens up, the vent falls down, pixelated blood, which is, in fairness, not all that scary, starts to run down the walls, and then dark figures start appearing all around you, which is a tad unsettling. But then slowly, a shadow of your own Roblox character raises up from the floor behind you and walks towards you wearing a bunny mask. Which in my case is slightly less terrifying because I'm a denim-wearing lobster wizard, but other people won't have that. If you complete this game, i.e. sit through the horrifying ordeal of watching your Roblox character go insane, you'll get an achievement called myocardial infarction, also known as a heart attack. The aim of this children's game is to endure something long enough to have a heart attack because of it. And I'll remind you again that this game claims to be based in real-life psychology. With nearly 8 million plays though, how many kids are now frightened of their own reflections? Seriously, I'm a grown-ass man, but after playing this, I'm afraid of accidentally opening up the front-facing camera. Well, more so than I usually am. Okay, so let's move away from the hellscape genre. Let's have a look at something a little bit different. This one I remember playing as a kid, but as an adult it seems like a less than sensitive simulation. Now, I know what you're saying, the Titanic was a long time ago, but hear me out, because there are no strict rules on when a massive human tragedy becomes fair game. And this one's supposed to be educational. It's listed in the Learn and Explore page. And that's all fine, that's well and good, kids should be learning about history. But it just doesn't turn out to be very educational. Because the simulator itself is fairly accurate, you know, it looks at least semi-photorealistic, and it hits an iceberg and sinks in the same way that it did. But the kids playing it just don't give a shit. The description of the game encourages kids to roleplay as passengers on the Titanic, which is a terrible idea. Despite the relative accuracy of the rest of the game, none of the players do anything they're supposed to do. Most of the lifeboats are just left to sink, still attached to the Titanic, and the people who got into the lifeboats that got away don't go to help the people who are drowning in the water. One of the crew members, whose role was to help save lives, decided to completely ignore the sinking and instead sing the lyrics to the Revenge Minecraft parody. You know, the one that goes,
Creeper. Oh man.
And because of the mechanics of this game, some of the lifeboats can only be released by crew members. So by doing this, he was dooming us all to a watery grave. Although, in fairness, maybe he's role-playing as the band from the Titanic.
So we back in the mine, got our pickaxe swinging from side to side.
So one of the parts of the roleplay is the ability to change your roleplay name to be more in keeping with the Titanic scenery. So I tried to name myself Jonty. But when I did, the game censored it. Okay, for some reason I can't call myself Jonty. But on testing the censor further, I was surprised to see that the game is absolutely fine with me calling myself Jim McRacist with the occupation of professional racism. Your name is Jonty. No, you're not on my list. Oh, Jim McRacist. Of course, come aboard, sir. While I'm sure there were some professional racists on board the Titanic, this was 1912 after all, I highly doubt there was anyone named Jim McRacist. Some of the awards in this game are for dying in different ways, but this means rather than role-playing as passengers on the Titanic, you get scenes like this. Yes, that's a discount Peppa Pig getting crushed by a smokestack on the Titanic. I just can't help but think that this isn't the most faithful simulation. But in keeping with this impeccable level of accuracy, you can spend real money in the form of robux to join the first class, which will give you benefits to survive the sinking of the Titanic easier than your fellow players. Which, when I say out loud, I realise is the most accurate thing in this game. What's worse though is that you get risk points for standing closer to the sinking parts of the ship, which just prompts players to toy with death all the time. Which means instead of this...
Get back, I say! Or I'll shoot you all like dogs!
You get something a bit more like this. But it gets even better because with these risk points you can buy certain items. And one of these items is a plane. In this plane attaches to the lifeboats and just lets them fly away. Just like what happened on the real Titanic. Players can either use this plane to save people, or slightly more maliciously, to knock them into the water. Like this one kid decided to do for some reason. I mean, at what stage does this game stop being educational? I mean, what are we learning here? That the Wright brothers showed up with some handy solution to fly all the passengers to safety? Like some Lord of the Rings Eagles bullshit? Or was it more like the majority of them froze to death in the icy waters of the Atlantic? I mean, it could be worse. At least they only did the second biggest ocean liner tragedy in the world. Oh, no. Yeah, wait. They did the biggest. But it's not as popular. Which just goes to show that just because you're the biggest doesn't mean you're the best. Suppose we did learn something today. Next in line is a game called Da Hood, which has 69 million plays.
Nice.
And boy, have we saved the best till last. Essentially, this game is a gang crime simulator, with some edgy racial shit going on. The thumbnail images feature almost exclusively black characters, and they're hardcore leaning into these gang stereotypes. I mean, what is this? Tyrone's guns with a Rasta theme. Look, there's even someone saying it was a prank, like they're in some racially insensitive Pranks in the Hood video. It's literally Pranks in the Hood. This is all sorts of problematic. There is no way this is appropriate for children. Also, the logo from this game is stolen straight from the Boys in the Hood album cover. I'm not sure that's totally legal. The music in this game, there's undoubtedly like at least 3 songs playing at the same time in this game. And the songs range from like this Fortnite song, Fishy on Me, which is clearly aimed at kids, to this song by Kamara called Fuck All the Pain. And it's not censored at all. Here are some lyrics from this song. Little mama, get up on me. Let me see you drop it. Rotate on this dick and grip these nuts just like a fucking socket. Deep inside that bitch until she's screaming that she coming. Shut the fuck up, I. Pick your boy up, I. Here, lame bitch. You a dumb cunt, I. Kamara. Fuck all the pain. Apologies for the whitest rendition of a rap song ever, but this is just fully in a Roblox game. Completely uncensored. And a Roblox game with 69 million plays, which is easily and by far the most popular game I've mentioned in this video. It's not even that it's just an adult song, like it's a pretty explicit adult song. It's genuinely bizarre to me that this just chills unnoticed in Roblox. Coffin Dance got shut down pretty quickly, but for some reason this is just chilling? For 69 million plays?
Nice.
What? While committing various heinous gang crimes and such, I learned that one of the mechanics in this game is that after you've beat or shot someone and they're lying on the ground, you can curb stomp them to finish them off. Every single player I encountered knew to do this immediately. It is embedded in the muscle memories of these children to fucking curb stomp me as soon as they get the opportunity. I did find a knife to defend myself with, but before I even got the chance to do a cheeky shank, I was shot and promptly curb stomped by what looked like a discount Sonic the Hedgehog. Parents are worried about their kids not eating their veggies, but they're out here on Roblox American History Xing their friends. Now don't get me wrong, I don't believe that violence or anything like that in video games really influences the actions of a person in real life, but there's just something so innocence destroying about watching Peppa Pig get destroyed by a smokestack on the Titanic. Or getting curb stomped by Sonic while the song about fucking bitches plays in the background. Okay, that's enough for today. Hope you enjoyed this overly analytical delve into the weirdness that Roblox has to offer. If you did, leave a like, comment, maybe subscribe and turn on the little notification bell if you fancy. What did you think? Do you think that kids should be playing these games, or do you not really care? I mean, I'm not fussed, I don't have a kid. They can do what they want for all I care. I just think it's pretty weird. And with that, see you later, nerds.